How's it going, everybody? Today we're taking a look at the Helbore Lasgun in-depth build guide. This is a gun that I have not used a lot in the past, actually pretty much at all, because it didn't have sights. But with a mod today, we have actually added those in, and I'm going to go ahead and take you through the skill trees. Now, people recommended that maybe I do the talent tree first in the video, so if you guys like the content, you like these higher quality build guides that I'm trying to put together, get used to, please like, comment, subscribe. All that helps out the channel a ton. I see those guys, there's like 5, 10, maybe 15 of you that always like the videos. Much appreciated. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into it. I'll take you through the talent tree, then we'll do the gun, weapons, and the curios. So anyways, moving on. We are starting off with the long shot bonus. Now, there are 3 different variations of the Helbore Lasgun. I'm using the Mark II in this build because I think it has a great melee as its secondary special attack, and it has a good fire rate. So the first thing we take is a long shot, and this is just because we're living out our sniper fantasy here as the Helbore Lasgun. So, similar to my MGX12 Lasgun build, to be honest, but we want to take this long shot, and then we also want to take this exhilarating takedown. And the reason I'm doing this is throughout this build, I noticed that we're going to be a little squishy. Now, there are other builds that you can run with this, and like a commanding shout build and stuff that you could also run, which is really fun. But for me, I'm actually running a... What do we got? We've got Executioner's Stance. So I'm taking long shot for that damage bonus, 20% up to as a sniper. Totally makes sense. And then exhilarating takedown gives you a little bit more toughness on weak spot kill, which is what we're doing as the sniper. And then we come actually through this middle path because I think it gives us a lot more flexibility and longevity, just a better tank in my opinion. So we take close order drill, which is great amount of toughness damage reduction. We take charismatic for that increased aura radius, and with this build, it's really important to stay within coherency. You really want to stay in coherency and get help from your teammates and get those coherency boosts. Then we take confirmed kill just to give us some more toughness on elite and specialist kill, which is 10% on elite or specialist kill, and then 20% more over 10 seconds. So that's a lot of bonus, and I really like that over time bonus as well. Then we get 1 more stamina, that's fine. We have plus 15 toughness, have to take it. On this build specifically, I'm taking Shredder Frag Grenades. I find they're really useful, especially if you're getting overran in hordes or something, but you could go for the crack grenades too if you find you're struggling with Carapace Armored or Heavy Armored or Monstrosities. You could go for crack. This build, I think you could really go for either. I think the Shredders are really fun on this build. Then we take 5% range damage. Notice we're not coming over here to agile engagement like I really like to do on a lot of builds. And the main reason for this is actually going to be that when you're using the Helbore Lasgun, first of all, you have a built-in melee attack that's actually fairly good. However, I use the energy sword, power sword, quite a lot on this build as well. But actually getting out the Helbore Lasgun, equipping it after it's been put away, there's a whole equip animation, it's really annoying, makes this just not a very smooth use of a passive, and we have to spend 3 points to get over here. There's a lot of other things we can do, and honestly, the energy sword doesn't need a 10% damage boost. The power sword, it's already fantastic. Now, covering fire would be nice to get some more toughness to your teammates and base damage. That could be a good thing to grab instead of maybe one of these others, and you'll find that in this build there is some flexibility in the way, even the way that I'm running it. So then we have 5% range damage. Get back in the fight. So what is this? Stun immunity is fantastic. You don't want to get stunned, and I think catch a breath is okay. I don't think it's the greatest, so we go ahead and get back in the fight because this helps us get out of the way of gunners and things that are really annoying. Survivalist, I've said this a million times. These other two are just mediocre at best. 5% movement speed or 5% damage. I mean, that's nice, but this ammo, I've never had to even once consider my ammo storage. So you can have literally like a 20% roll on your ammo on your Lasgun, and if you're running Survivalist, you're not gonna have to worry about ammo probably for the entire game. So just run Survivalist, and it also helps your teammates as well. So if your teammates are running builds that shoot through ammo, this will keep them using their weapons the entire game, which is what you want. And then we have a reload speed. You have to take that. I jump over here and take this demolition stockpile just so I can have more of those grenades up. So 5% toughness, damage reduction, whatever, and we grab this demolition stockpile. You could absolutely maybe just get rid of these 2 and put these 2 points somewhere else. Absolutely could do that, and I think I would maybe do that, in fact. So I maybe take off demolition stockpile and toughness damage reduction and put it towards this focused target and focused fire or something that I have down here at the bottom, but we'll get to that in a second. And then I have another build that I go through voice of command, and I tried it. and it was good. It's definitely better for making you more sustainable as this guy, because you are squishy and you are a sniper, so you're kind of left out in the open. But honestly, I thought using the Executioner stance was a much more fun way to play with the Helbore Lasgun, because it's all about you want to be that sniper, right? You want to be the sniper. That's the whole point of the Helbore Lasgun. You want to be the sniper boy. So we're going through Executioner stance because it's much more fun. We take Kill Zone because we get that 15% base rage damage. Nobody's nearby. That's a nice little perk to have. And Opening Salvo is, anyways. I mean, 10% chance for the first 10% of the ammo in the mag. Not that great. Executioner stance, of course, we outline, elite and specialist enemies. And then we also take all ranged enemies are outlined. And then we take refreshing Executioner stance on killing a ranged enemy, and this just lets you stay in ranged combat in your ability for a really long time, and then you can do that for so long that you can even get the ability back up before you even run out of the ability. So you're using Executioner stance, and then a lot of the time if you're doing well in Executioner stance, you'll finally come out of Executioner stance after not hitting an enemy for a while, killing an enemy for a while, and you'll be able to go straight back into it. So that's a really nice perk to have on Executioner stance. But of course, how many times can I say Executioner stance in like 6 seconds? Anyways, where was I? We were going through this. Anyway, we'll just keep going through the tree. Executioner stance, not as tough and survivable as voice of command. So if you find you don't use Executioner stance, you can go into voice of command. I really like X stance. We're going to call it X stance. Screw it. And voice of command is really nice to have too, but I think it just doesn't build into this build as nicely because the weak spot damage on the Helbore Lasgun really benefits a ton from this Executioner stance, X stance. So highly recommend taking that. Then we get down into this area, so we have 5% range damage bonus. That's nice. 30% weak spot damage, absolutely crucial to take for the Helbore Lasgun. I am not using Determined because somebody commented on another video. You don't really need it because supposedly Executioner stance makes you immune to suppression. Although I don't know if I see it in this description, but in the event that Executioner stance actually does make you immune to suppression, you don't need to take Determined. I've also found playing without Determined that I was doing just fine with the Helbore Lasgun. So no need to worry about that. Now, if you do go through voice of command, you should take Determined. Definitely take that if you take a voice of command path instead, but that's not for this build. And then we get our 25% ammo. Didn't really want it. What we're really taking is this Marksman, and that's what we're really coming through here is this Superiority Complex and Marksman. On ability used for 10 seconds, any weak spot hit gains 20% power. That's fantastic, and this 15% base damage to elite enemies is also fantastic. If you really wanted to, you could cut all 3 of these perks off as well, or talent points, whatever, and put them towards something else, such as Focus Target. You notice I don't have it selected. I was just trying that for one run, and I don't know how I feel about it. We'll get to that at the bottom of this tree. We have 25% suppression dealt. That's great. We have to come through there anyways. And I have for the Emperor and Marksman selected, so when we use our X stance, we get this bonus from For the Emperor, and we get this Marksman bonus. I think it's really powerful, and this base melee damage helps us with our melee on our Lasgun as well. And the great part about having that Lasgun melee attack is that if you're in X stance, if you switch out to your melee weapon, your sword, it's going to cancel you out of X stance. However, if you are using the Helbore Lasgun and you use your special melee, you get to stay in your X stance. So that's really nice to have. So we get a really big bonus when we pop into our X stance that lasts for a while. And then we have Tactical Awareness. This is really powerful for being able to just feed straight back into your X stance. You'll pop your X stance, you'll see all those elite and specialist enemies that you're getting. Oh, this is just cooldown reduced on specialist enemy kills. You get to see all those specialists with X stance, not elite enemies, but anyways, you see all the specialist enemies with X stance. You'll take them out, and by the time you run out of X stance, you'll have X stance back up again, and you can just keep rolling into it. Super fun to do. We take Iron Will because this is a huge toughness boost to us, and we are squishy boys. And then we have plus 25 toughness, plus 20% damage to Ogrins and Monstrosities. That's really helpful because, you want to be able to dispatch those guys quickly with the Helbore Lasgun. And then we have Competitive Urge because you just get such a great boost in damage for really just playing the game. And I think this is up quite often because there's a lot of enemies that you're killing in this game, especially if there's hordes or something, you're getting overwhelmed. This will definitely probably be up. Now, I decided, now we've gotten down to this Focus Target, I was not using Focus Target very much and very effectively, so I took it off the build. However, I think I'm going to add it back on, and we need to take something from somewhere to do so, I'd say maybe this 15% base damage to elites could go. That would be good to take off. Maybe then we add focus target in. And then let's see, we have, I would honestly don't think you really need the redirect fire. All these are fantastic. You could even come up here, and probably take off the grenade, and 5% toughness damage reduction is the best way to go about this if you want to run all of these. And let's see, I would take the 8 stacks of focus. Actually, you know what? You might not even need that since the Helbore does a lot of single target damage. I would just give him the target down. And if you want some more damage, maybe redirect fire. Honestly, I think that we're good with that. We can just go ahead and pick up this 15% base damage to elites. And I think that really rounds out our focus target. So if you find you're using focus target a lot, absolutely great. But if you find you're not using it in game a lot, take it off and just add into your toughnesses as your well-roundedness as the veteran sniper. Give you some more toughness or something along those lines. It'll really help you out. So yeah, now we will move on to the weapons, and I'll give you guys my rundown on what I use for the Helbore Lasgun and the build. Alrighty, so now we are on to the power sword, our melee weapon, and then our ranged weapon. So we have our most important modifiers. This is the classic power sword I've been running on all my builds. If you've seen any of them, you want high damage, high cleave damage, and high cleave targets. Cleave targets is really important for when you're not using your energized attack, because when you're using your energized attack, you have infinite cleave, basically. You need high damage, and you want high cleave damage because you want to do a lot of cleave damage and kill lots of guys with your cleave energy sword attack. There you go. That makes total sense. Should really make sense to you. And then, okay, so we have flak armored enemies, because the power sword struggles a little bit with taking on flak armored enemies, but it's really good at hitting weak spots and sweeping attacks, so really good at cleaving through lots of weak spots, so we take a weak spot bonus. And then for our blessings, we have Slaughter and Power Cycler. Power Cycler is the obvious take. You absolutely have to have it. If you only have Power Cycler 3, that's okay. And if you don't have Power Cycler, I might recommend taking something like a Chain Sword instead, because you're really just struggling at that point. Then we have Slaughter. Anything that gives you plus power or damage on hit or kill is fantastic to take. I really like Slaughter. I think it's fantastic for the Power Sword. And then we will hop into the actual thing we've all wanted to see for this build. You'll notice my Helbore Lasgun looks ridiculous because we have actually modded it into the game and modded it so that we have actual sights and you can change all the things. This is the weapon cosmetics mod on, you can find it on Nexus mods or any other places, that actually makes this Helbore the real sniper that's really fun. Now in the game, I actually run the gameplay that's playing in the background. I'm running a red dot, and you can run basically any sight that's in the game. This one here has a giant scope on it for clickbait, but you could also use this giant scope. I wouldn't recommend it. It's like a 20x, but you could also, there's like a 5x that I ran that was, or a 3x that was really fun to use actually, and I really recommend using that as well. It actually made it really feel like sniper play, which was really fun and refreshing. I wish Darktide would add, the devs would add some more stuff into it, because when you see the things that the mod community adds to this game, it makes it really fun, and you're like, what are the devs doing? But anyways, we want for our Helbore Lasgun high damage, high stopping power, and high charge rate. In this build, we have that perk for the veteran that lets us regen ammo on specialist or elite kills or whatever it is. And the ammo, honestly, have never even gone below half ammo while using this weapon. So fantastic. You can spam this bad boy as much as you want, and you're not going to have ammo problems as long as you have a semi-decent roll on that. So ammo, honestly, dump stat. Stability, honestly, kind of a dump stat also, especially if you're using the X stance. You'll have great use with, you'll have great stability anyways. For the perks, I have Maniac damage, which I like, and Flak armored damage. Now, I haven't actually gotten a chance to use Flak armored damage in game. I had tried weak spot damage. I did not like it, and I had tried something else maybe, and I did not like it that much either. Having unyielding damage is also kind of nice on here, so you could have Maniac and Unyielding, or Maniac and Flak, or Flak and or Unyielding. But I really think that Maniac and Flak armored enemies is the way to go, because sometimes when you're shooting, you'll hit a charged weak spot shot on some flak armored enemies and they won't go out. So I think this 25% damage to flak armored enemies is really going to help us get up towards some of those breakpoints that we really want to get with the Helbore to make it feel like a more satisfying sniper. Because there's nothing like hitting a charged attack on somebody's weak spot on an enemy that's not a huge enemy type or something really dangerous enemy type, huge one, thick boy, whatever you want to call him, and then he just walks off and it takes like another shot to kill him or something. That's annoying. So you want to take this flak armored enemies to really try and round out our damage one-shot potentials. And then we have our blessings. So Onslaught and Sustained Fire are the two that I've taken. Now, there is talk in the community that Sustained Fire kind of sucks with Onslaught, but the problem is if you go and actually look at all the blessings for the Helbore Lasgun, there's about jack nothing that you can take for him. There's one that increases crit chance, which you could totally run a crit chance Helbore, which would be cool, but I just don't think it's really that necessary. Now, if you're using maybe the big boy damage cannon Helbore, that would be great. And I might make a video about that in the future, about doing giant damage with the Mark III Helbore, I think it is. But the Mark II, I don't think it's that fantastic. And, you know, honestly, these are just the best two combos to use. We have Onslaught and Sustained Fire. I did also try running the Weak Spot Stagger kind of build, which is where you have like plus 90% Stagger on your Blessing and then plus 20% damage scaling with Stagger on your Weak Spot on damage if they are staggered. Geez, that was a bit of a mind twister there. And honestly, I didn't find it useful at all, because if you were hitting those weak spots, they were just, you're getting the kill anyways. Or if, you know, if they're staggered, I just found that it was very, very situational and not getting used very much. And this is obviously getting used much more often in the game. So Onslaught is going to let you have chain charge attacks, reduces their charge time by negative 10%, stacks 5 times, so you have 50% reduced charge on the Helbore Lasgun Mark II, and it already has a decent charge rate attack, so you can get really fast shooting off lots of charged attacks. It helps you stay in your X stance a lot longer because you're able to shoot more shots. I think Onslaught is an absolute take. It's probably the best one available for the Helbore, and you probably want to use it on any single class that you play at all. And then we have Sustained Fire. The problem with Sustained Fire is that the time for Sustained Fire to reset, meaning that you can get into these third and fourth shots in a salvo, do 20% damage, is basically the same time as it takes for Onslaught to reset. So if you let your Sustained Fire, or to expire, so if you let your Sustained Fire, you get those 20% damage on your third and fourth shot, you want to get that 20% damage on some more shots in the future, you have to let your Onslaught stacks expire, basically. And so that's kind of annoying, but it's not the end of the world, and I think it's just fine to run these together, you know, especially because the other blessings for the Helbore I just found to be very underwhelming. I mean, there's like Infernus, get like apply flames on crit, you're like one-shotting things anyway, so who cares? Right? It's not like we're a Psyker and we have like soul, like wildfire and stuff. I don't know. This is by far the most obvious setup to run for blessings. Unless you're running a crit setup, I think the crit setup would be another viable option, running like Onslaught and then the Crucian Roulette, or it's not Crucian Roulette, but whatever, stacks crit chance on aiming and discharges on firing. But I think that'd be good to run on something like the Mark III Helbore, which perhaps we will make another video on in the future for the Blast Cannon Helbore or something along those lines. So thank you guys for watching the weapons. Now we will get on to the Curios, because they are very, you know, at the end, not super important, kind of, you know, yeah, we can gloss over those, but they're the same for everything. You know, we take a +3 stamina, you know, a health curio and a toughness curio, and I'd say, you know, my curios are not dialed in on this build yet. I'd say since we were really squishy on this build, you want to take a +5% max health on all of your curios and a +5% toughness on all your curios. And if you had to pick between the one of the two, I'd definitely take the +5% toughness on all your curios. So that'll give you another +15% toughness on top of your toughness curio. And then you take some damage resistance to gunners as well, because you are a veteran. You want to get out in the open and fight some guys that are shooting at you, so you need damage resistance to gunners. And then your other one can kind of be whatever you want. I'd recommend maybe block efficiency, or, you know, yeah, whatever. So that is all for our weapons and our curios. I hope you guys enjoyed the build guide. You know, take a watch at the gameplay in the background. This is a Maelstrom run on, I don't know, whatever map this is. And yeah, if you like the content, like and subscribe. It means a whole lot to the channel, guys. I appreciate the help. You know, leave your comments down below on what you think about the build guide, any suggestions I should make, additions, edits, whatever redos. Super appreciate it. Anyways, guys, see you later. I'm gonna stop talking now. Goodbye.
Nicely done, O'Brien. Reloading! Some of these rejects, some of them, mark you, may have what it takes.
Big Beauty down! Step gunner! They dug in! Flank it!
Dead, go! Right in the face! Your dead will swallow his own soul!
There you go, Glenn! Let's go through! Traitor, traitor! Grenade out! Flip back! Damn it! I'm down! Mutiny! Sniper! Bastion 220 combat stance! Killed the sniper! Bomber eliminated! See the stairs?
Ammo! Reload!
Killshot drills engaged! Smaller! Smaller! Copy that! Copy that! Plant that cover! Bro, the damn thing's dead! That's the hound dead! Good kill! Can't do it again! Won't be a problem now! Trapper! See ya! Can't miss, won't miss! Pulse bursters burst! Throw a grenade! Pulse burster! Gamma 315 bomber! Neutralized! Don't get distracted! There could be more coming!
You can relax. I am here. Everything will rouse one to wait. Build it.
Look out!
The amphitheater's up ahead. Try to put those snipers to work. Once you identify the sim, you and the cargo out of there. The heretics won't let this go without a fight. Stay alert for ways to even the odds.
Sniper's dead!
Good shot.
Ammo! The soldier's true friend!
I want everyone together before I update the crit key.
It's gonna
It's a tough brother, ain't it?
Get behind it! Shoot in the back!
Engaging critical target. They're in cover. Bomber, clear.
Kill!
Go, big man. Break them all apart.
Watch the bomber!
Sounds like a hell.
Trigger! Eliminated!
Find the courage, you heretic. That's why we keep an ocean around.
Don't stop it, man! Not bad! Toss flavor kill! Sniper! Sniper eliminated! Take the eye!
Sniper's fault.
Keep at it. You need the signal for extraction.
Very large
You take Have a grenade, heretic. Stand back. Our Ogren's on a rampage.
Yeah, teach them the error of their heretic ways. Don't know which one's worse.
Reloading. Cover me. Take Ogren. Grenade out. Ranger. Help me out. Ranger.
Taste very good. Ranger's gone twice.
Need a rescue. Come on.
Shake it off, soldier! How close?